and quality life. We must be enjoying the various delicacies, bhel puri, pani puri, and the pav bhaji and all. So these all foods which are made, either it is outside food or it is made by your mother. These all food items which we enjoy are having some amount of nutrients that we take. But not always all the nutrients that we take are available in the food that we are having. So the nutrients that are required by the body has to be available and has to be provided to your body regularly. These nutrients which are required by your body, like the carbohydrates, fats, proteins, vitamins, minerals, they are the basic need of your body, and these nutrients, they will provide you the energy. That energy will be produced, and then only you will be able to perform the various functions. So the various functions or the day-to-day activity which are conducted by your body are done because of the nutrients that you get, and these nutrients which we get, we get it from the food. Now, directly or indirectly, whether you are a vegetarian or you are a non-vegetarian, this food which is there, it is available from the plant. The main source which is for this food is nothing but it is the plant. Whether if you are the carnivorous animals also, they are indirectly connected through a food chain. They are indirectly connected to the plants. So plant source which are there, they are the main source because they are autotrophs. That is, they make their own food using the sunlight. They do photosynthesis and they produce the carbohydrates and the proteins. Now these carbohydrates which are produced, that will be given to you, and then you will be eating the plant source or any animal that is eating the plant source. Suppose if you consider a carnivore animal, carnivore will be eating some or other animal. That animal, either it will be a herbivore. So this way there is a food chain which links the animals to the plants. So main source is nothing but it is the plant, and the plant will produce the various nutrients which are required by you. So you will be taking the nutrients and you will be producing you will be generating the energy which is required by your body for doing the various functions. In India, we know that there is a scarcity of food. As you can see, if you see the area or the border of the area, geographical features, India is extended to a large extent, and India is a big country area wise. But also, if you consider the cultivational area, the cultivational land which is there, it is also more in India as compared to other countries. But still we are having the scarcity of food. Now why the scarcity of food is there in India? This is because the food that is produced is not reaching either to the poor, plus there is a wastage of food, and the land which is cultivating the food, there was no proper cultivation done. For example, if a particular area is involved in cultivation for the crops, then there the crop productivity is less, the use of fertilizers was less, and there was no proper income coming to the farmers. So the new evolution has occurred, and this evolution which was there, that is called as the Green Revolution and White Revolution. Green Revolution which was started by the American agronomist who is the Norman Ernest Borlaug. His idea of Green Revolution was nothing but he has used the modern technologies, that is using the fertilizers, new irrigation techniques, and introduced the high yielding varieties of crops. So these high yielding varieties of crops which will be used, they will be helping to improve the productivity, so that in even in the small area we can produce large amount of crops. So this Green Revolution is a concept which helped to improve the productivity. Before 1965, there was famine in many parts of India. The government has decided to use certain better methods, that is the use of irrigation techniques, use of fertilizers, then pesticides, the natural pesticides, then high yielding varieties of crops to improve the quality. So this is nothing but it is done to improve the production of the crops. And the idea was given by an American agronomist whose name is nothing but the Norman Ernest Borlaug, and that's why he is called as the father of Green Revolution, because he has invented this technique to use the new high yielding varieties, using the new techniques for improving the quality. So that is why it is called as the green revolution, where large amount of production was done using the new techniques. Then another revolution, that is nothing but the white revolution, which was done in 1970 by Indian National Dairy and Development Board, that is NDDB. And this program which is there, it is also called as the program was called as Operation Flood. And this Operation Flood, which was used to improve the productivity of the milk and milk products. So large amount of milk production can be done, and this a large amount of milk production, the Anand Milk Union Limited and the maker of the Amul products, they was a driving force behind this. So they have used this technique of white revolution, that improving the quality and the quantity of the products which we are getting from the milk industry. The milk industry also includes the curd, the butter, cheese, oil, these all ghee. These are all the various products which we get from the milk, and the production, if the production is improved, then it will be very helpful for the betterment, because in the milk also there are various nutrients available, and these nutrients are helping to us. Then if you consider the next point, that is the better crop yields. As you can see that the products which are there are various staple foods in the country, like we have the cereals like rice, wheat, jowar, etc. Pulses like gram, black gram, etc. These are all. Then there will be oil products which will be from the groundnut, mustard, sesame, sunflower. These all products which we get, they are the plant products. Now these plant products which we are getting, they will, if the quality of these plant products is improved, then they will be an economic product. That means the oil which is produced from the various seeds like the mustard, sesame, then groundnut or the sunflower. This oil will give a large yield, or it will be very helpful for the economic growth of the farmers. So to improve the quality of these products, there will be high yielding varieties which are available, and that can be used for improving the quality of these products. So we were seeing the better crop yields. What are the crops? First of all, we will see crop is nothing but a large amount of the same plant which is cultivated in the same area, in a particular area, and the large production is done for a particular purpose, and it is sold where for the economic growth of the farmer. That time we call it as a crop. So the plants of the same variety grown at a particular place at the same time on a large scale and in a particular area is referred to as a crop. So these crops, various crops, as I have told you, there are various oil seeds like mustard, sesame, sunflower, groundnut. Then there are various other spices which are available, the various vegetables which are available. Then there are fodder crops, like if you see the basin, the Sudan grass and the road grass. These all fodder crops which are there, they are also important as we are as we are domesticating the animals. The fodder crops are also important. So these fodder crops, or the crops which are required for the human beings, these crops can be grown, and when they are grown in a particular area at a particular time, then there will be something or some output or some economic development of the farmer can happen. So for this we have to use the better variety of the crops. If you are using the regular varieties of the crops, then what will happen is that particular crop will not give you a higher yield. So to get a better yield, what we have to do is we have to use new improved techniques and the better seeds which are available in the market. That has to be used. So the new variety of the seeds, which are also called as the hybrid varieties or the high yielding varieties of the seeds which are available, that can be used. So we call it as HYB, that is high yielding varieties. These high yielding varieties of seeds, they are important for the economic growth of the farmers. So the next part here we will be seeing is it will be the taking better care of the crop plants. take a better care of the crop plants, we have to do certain things like before harvesting and after harvesting. We have to protect the plant. The plant has to be protected on field also, that is before harvesting, and after harvesting certain things has to be taken care, and that certain measures which has to be taken care to protect them from the mice, from the animals, from the insects or the germs which will be growing in it. So these care has to be taken care when we are producing a plant. Then this proper care has to be done. So before this, we need to see that using better variety of seeds. So the better varieties which are available, that is the high yielding varieties. It comes in the same topic, so I have not mentioned it here. But if you see, if you are growing a particular crop, then it has to be such that it will give you a higher yield. For example, there is hybridization which is done. Now what is hybridization? Hybridization is a technique where we are doing cross pollination between two different varieties of the plants. For example, a plant which is having higher yield and a plant which is having a good quality. So when the crossing is done between these two plants, one which is having higher yield and the other one which is having a good quality. When hybridization is done, cross pollination is done between these two plants, then what can happen is we will get a product that will be a high yielding variety and plus it will be of a good quality. So here we are getting two features at a time. This can be done in between the insect resistance, between the pest resistance, between the disease resistance, and this improved quality of the products can be seen. And if we are doing hybridization between these two plants, then we will get ultimately a product which will be of a very good quality. Now that very good quality, the seeds of those plants are taken and those are given to those are made available to the farmers. That is called as the high yielding variety seeds, and these seeds, if they are used by the farmers, then under suitable conditions, under proper conditions like the pesticides, proper irrigation facilities, everything is given to the plant, then the yield of the crop will be much higher than the previous yield. So to improve the quality, we have to take care of the seeds also. The better variety of the seeds has to be used, and these better varieties are available after hybridization. So the hybridization, when it is done, in the hybridization technique, we are using two different varieties that will be a good quality and a high yielding, and when we are crossing this, we will get the better characteristics of the plants. That is, the better quality will be seen, better resistance can be seen, pesticide resistance and pest resistance as well as disease resistance plants can be obtained, which will be having a good quality. The texture of the crops or the fruits or flowers that we are getting can be of a good quality. So this high yielding variety seeds which are available in the market, if the farmers are using them, then there will be higher productivity. That means the quality of the quality as well as the quantity of the products can be improved.
Choose the right kindergarten, a right bag, and matching bottle to go with, the right school, the right friends. Choose the right subjects and score well. Be an expert in all. The right teacher, and make sure that they like you. Choose the right timing, the right bus, and take a cab if getting late. The right train, and don't stand near the gates. Mind the pockets. Better get into ladies' compartment, and make sure your mustache hasn't started coming. Choose the right study time and forget games. IPL, IHL, rock and metal, guitar, axe. The right group, and be a model to your brother. Seriously. Choose the right syllabus, the right test paper. Keep guessing questions for exams. Choose the right branch, the right college, the right stream. Choose the right career. Lucky to have a father's business to take care of and a father to allow that. The right counselor. the right form, and make sure the project is submitted on time. Choose the right website and rely on your friends for more information. Oblivious of the sites they have been to, there is no end to your woes. Getting better with every step you climb up the ladder. The summer vacation shorter, the bucket list bigger, the night darker, the books heavier. The only light you have is your friends ahead of you. Probably he is right. Ever thought how he got the direction? No more spending your energy and money on coaching classes. No more missing classes for rain, rally, and nonsense. Get your interest back in subjects through our creative ways of teaching. Doubts, concepts, applications, all explained through one vibrant animation. Subjects covered by multiple teachers with repeat telecasts. Special programs only for basic foundation and paper analysis. Personality development, career counseling, admissions, hobbies, all covered. A new approach to study with long-term perspective. So sit back comfortably in your homes and watch Study Spectrum TV channel.
Taking better care of the crop plants. As I've told you, the plants which are there, if they are taken the proper care during production and after production, that is before harvesting, after harvesting, during harvesting, during the growth of the plant, this proper care if it is taken, then and there only you will have a good quality or a good yield. That means it will be of a better quality as well as the quantity will be more. So for this we have to see what kind of things which are required. Now, as I've told you that we require carbohydrates, proteins, fats, vitamins, minerals. We require the various nutrients for our body growth. Similarly, plants also require nutrients for their development. If the nutrients are not available to human beings as well as animals, if the nutrients are not available, there will be abnormalities in the body. If growth hormones are less, then growth will be less. If proteins are less, the body development will be not good. If carbohydrates are less, there will be lack of energy. So there will be various problems which are faced by the animals as well as humans. Similarly, in case of plants also, if the nutrients are not available, they may also face certain problems with respect to the quality, with respect to the quantity. So when we are giving proper nutrients to the plants, they will also grow properly. For example, you must have seen that on the leaves there are yellow patches. Now what are these yellow patches? These yellow patches are nothing but this shows that there is a lack of chlorophyll. Now chlorophyll is not developed because there is a lack of magnesium. So when the nutrient, that is the magnesium, is less available to the plant, it will not produce chlorophyll, and if chlorophyll is not formed, the photosynthesis, which is the most important process which goes on in the plant, that is the food formation which is done in the plants, this will not be done. So here chlorophyll, which is the most important element, which is produced in the presence of the magnesium. So here magnesium is required for chlorophyll and chlorophyll is required for photosynthesis. So if magnesium is not there, there will be yellow patches on the plants or on the leaves, and this indicates that the magnesium nutrient is not available to the plants. So plants also require the various nutrients, they require various fertilizers, they require manures. So here in this topic we will be seeing the new requirement of the plant for better care. That is, we have to provide certain nutrients to the plants. We have to provide manures to the plants as well as fertilizers. Nutrients, as I've told you, we require nutrients, even plants require nutrients. There are certain nutrients which are required in large amount. So these nutrients are called as macronutrients. We call it as macronutrients. Macronutrients are nothing but the nutrients which are required in the higher amount on large scale by the plants. So these are called as the macronutrients. The nutrients like the nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, carbon, calcium, magnesium, hydrogen, these are all the nutrients which are required by the plants in higher amount. So these are all the nutrients which are required. Again, oxygen is also there, which are required in higher amount, so we call it as a macronutrient. The nutrients which are required rather in less amount, they are called as the micronutrients. So let us see the micronutrients. The various micronutrients which are required by the plants are nothing but iron, zinc, molybdenum. Then there are certain elements like chlorine, manganese, boron, copper. Manganese, boron, copper. So these all nutrients which are there, or these are minerals or elements which are required by the plants are required in the less amount. So these are called as the micronutrients. So plant take the inorganic nutrients and make the organic compounds like the proteins, carbohydrates, fats. These are all made by the plants using these nutrients. So these are the basic nutrients that as we eat food, plants also require food. So these are the nutrients which are provided by the food that we provide. That is, when we provide these elements, the plants will be able to grow properly. Then let us see the manures. If you want to see the manures, you must be aware that the cow dung, that is cow dung, human waste, plant waste, these are all processed, and after processing these will be producing certain elements which are required by the plant. So when the cow dung is there, this cow dung is processed and then it is provided to the plant as manures. So these manures which are there, they are also helping in providing the essential elements which are required by the plants. All the elements are not naturally available, and hence what we can do is we can put the manures like the cow dung, the animal waste, the human waste, or the waste from the plant residues also. They will be processed and that can be provided to the plants for their better growth. Then the next thing that we have to see is nothing but it is the fertilizers. So various fertilizers like the nitrate fertilizers, phosphate fertilizers and potassium fertilizers which are available. These fertilizers which are there, they are specially made for certain nutrients which are required in the larger amount. As I have told you, the nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, these are the basic nutrients which are required by the plants in larger amount. And basically fertilizers like the nitrate fertilizers, phosphate fertilizers and potassium fertilizers are available in the market. So if you see the nitrogenous fertilizers, the fertilizers like the ammonium sulfate, urea, ammonium nitrate, these are the fertilizers which are the nitrogen, which will provide nitrogen to the plant. Then if you see the phosphorus fertilizers, the superphosphate, ammonium phosphate, amorphous phosphate, these are all the phosphates phosphate fertilizers. They will provide phosphorus to the plants. And if you see the potassium fertilizers, that is also called as the potassic fertilizers. The potassium chloride, potassium sulfate, potassium nitrate, these are all the salts which will be available and they will be acting as the fertilizers to the plants which will provide potassium. So when we are providing certain fertilizers, these fertilizers which will be there, they will help in adding these nutrients to the plants. Sometimes what happens is, when the farmers are growing crops in a particular land, after a particular period of time, the nutrients which are naturally available or readily available in the soil gets reduced. So in this condition, what we have to do is we have to add that particular nutrient which is available, which is less in the plant in that particular land. So in a agricultural land, the farmer has to keep a constant check on which nutrients are not available, and those nutrients has to be provided in the form of fertilizers to the plants. So these are the basic fertilizers which are required. During the organic farming, the organic fertilizers are used, and then these fertilizers which are obtained from the plant source or natural source, they are provided to the plants, and then the plants are grown in a proper condition. So in order to improve as I've told you, the various fertilizers are added to the plants when the availability of nutrients to the plants is less. So in order to maintain or improve the fertility of the soil, the chemical fertilizers are supplied in the form of nitrates, phosphates, or potassic fertilizers. So these fertilizers will provide the nutrients to the plants, and hence the growth of the plants can be seen. But these fertilizers which are there, they're chemical fertilizers. They are soluble and easy to handle. They are easily soluble in water and can be absorbed by the plants easily, and they are easy to handle. But these chemical fertilizers which are there, they are deteriorating the quality of the soil. The quality of the soil is being decreased, and that's why chemical fertilizers or chemical pesticides are harmful. So if chemical fertilizers or pesticides are used in over a large period of time, then a time will come when the soil will become a barren land, or it will become an unfertile land. So this can harm the soil, and that's why a new technique, that is the organic farming technique, is being implemented. In this organic farming, the less use of chemical pesticides or chemical fertilizers or any chemical which can harm the soil quality in future is avoided. Here we are using the fertilizers or the pesticides or the plants which are available from the plant source or from the microbial source. So all the products which are naturally available, and they will not harm the quality, as well as it will have the symbiotic relation with the plants, or it will be very beneficial to the plants. So these varieties or these biofertilizers, biopesticides can be used for the plants, so that they will not harm the quality as well as the quantity of the plant products as well as the soil. So here we can use the fertilizers which are the biofertilizers and biopesticides. That is called as organic farming. When we are using the natural fertilizers or natural pesticides, then it is called as the organic farming. So the next thing that in this we need to see is nothing but the irrigation. As we all know that plants require large amount of water. There are certain plants which require huge amount of water, like the paddy crops, like the rice. If you see the rice fields, they are partially covered with water, so they require large amount of water. Other plants also, they require the water for their processes. So irrigation is the most important part. As you can see in the photosynthetic reaction, the carbon dioxide will react in presence of water and sunlight. Carbon dioxide and water, it will react and it will produce the carbohydrates. So here water is an element which is also important in photosynthetic reactions, and hence we require the water, and the water has to be supplied to the plants as per their requirement. There are certain plants which require less amount of water, so accordingly the irrigation has to be done. Again, we know that water is an important element. There are various places or various states where water is less available. So water has to be used efficiently, so that all the living beings and everywhere the water will be available, water supply will be properly given. So it is an important element, we have to use efficiently. And that's why there are various irrigation techniques. Irrigation means supplying water to the plants. So irrigation techniques are being used. There is sprinkle irrigation, drip irrigation. This sprinkle irrigation and drip irrigation which is there, it helps in saving the water. If we unnecessarily give the water using the large pipes and all, then what will happen is the water will also flow, and along with that the soil, the upper layer of the soil, that is the important layer which has the humus in it, that will be going along with the soil erosion will happen, and the quality of the soil will be will be reduced. So that's why the irrigation which is there, it has to be such that it should not erode the soil, it should not take away the soil along with the water. So we have the sprinklers and the drippers which will be dripping this drop by drop the water will be supplied. Also the sprinkler which is there, it will help in giving the amount of water which is required by the plants in a particular limit. Large reservoirs are available, canals, there are bore wells. So these are reservoirs which are there. They help in providing the water to the plants. There are tube wells also which are available usually in the village areas for supplying water to the plants. So these are all the irrigation facilities which are available, and in irrigation also the improved methods or improved techniques are like sprinkle irrigation and drip irrigation, which will help in giving the proper amount of water. Water will also not be wasted. Along with that, the quality of the soil will also be maintained. So these are topics we have seen, which are the important topics. We have seen green revolution, white revolution, better crop yields and better seed varieties of seeds. That is the high yielding varieties of seeds. Then taking better care of the crops. In that we have seen the proper nutrients that has to be supplied. I have also told you about the macronutrients and the micronutrients. The nutrients which are required in the large amount and the nutrients which are required in the less amount. Those are called as the micronutrients. Then we have seen the manures. Manures are nothing but the natural elements. If the soil is naturally not having certain elements which are required, then we can put the manures which can provide the various nutrients which are required by the plants. And fertilizers are when the soil is lacking in certain elements like the potassium, nitrogen and phosphorus, which are the most important elements. Then the fertilizers can be provided to the plants, and these fertilizers which are available in the various forms, like I've told you, nitrogen nitrate fertilizers, ammonium nitrate fertilizers, potassium sulfate, and I've told you about the phosphorus. There are various sorts of phosphorus, superphosphate, amorphous phosphate and all. So these phosphates, ammonium phosphates, these phosphates varieties can be given to the plants for their better growth. Then I've told you about the irrigation. The various new techniques in irrigation can be implemented and the crop yield can be improved.